Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Tonight's doubleheader, the game we've been waiting for. Barcomb TV and Furniture are being hosted tonight by Bowl Mart Lane.
We'll be starting the game in a moment here. Dick Castine, Randy Barcomb, Joey Tremblay, and Dick Letourneau are down there doing the ground rules. Big matchup here between Barcombs and Bowl Mart Lanes. Bowl Mart, the home team. Barcomb's lineup will be Gary DeCoste, followed by Randy Barcomb, Dale Cardin, Dan Phillips, Andy Morelli, Gary Favreau, Frank Dumas, Jim Barcomb, Guy Juneau, Pat Welch, and Roy Hebert, the DH. For the Bowl Mart, it'll be Dennis Phillips, Randy Davison, Jim Davison, Randy LeBombard, Mark Guerin, Dan Tremblay, Bill Glode, Stan Roberts, Dick Spada, Lynn Bayshard, and Lonnie Bayshard. Stop it. Starting the game momentarily. Second game of a doubleheader. All you people tuned in to see Dominic Schneider. He was unable to be here. Dog Schneider, of course, did the first game for us. Did his usual fine job. Handling the camera in this game here will be Sherm Blow. You all remember Sherm from all the fine hockey coverage he gave us over the winter. Also did the St. Mary's Bazaar Parade for us last week. It's our first anniversary show here. We came on the air last year, June 11th, 1983. Been on the air for a year now. A lot of people didn't think we'd make it that long. Leading off for Barcomb, former league MVP, Gary DeCoste, the pitcher. Lynn Bayshard. First one's the ball. Umpire behind the plate, Dick Butterball Letourneau. Strike call, 1-1. Umpiring the bases, Joey Tremblay from Midway. DeCoste hits it back to Bayshard. Bayshard over to first. One down to bring up Randy Barcomb. Barcomb playing shortstop this year. He's in there replacing the injured Dick Van Heusen. Van Heusen ripped his Achilles tendon. Barcomb, first ball swinging, hits the ball in the left field for a base hit. Ball is quickly retrieved and thrown back into the infield. Left fielder for Bowl Mart is Dennis Phillips. Let's bring up Dale Cardin, another league former MVP. Cardin, a third baseman. Been in this league a long time. Started playing when he was 14 years old. There's a base hit up the middle. Barcomb running all the way up in there at third base as the throw comes into second. Aggressive base running here. Puts runners on first and third with one down. Bring up Dan Tree Phillips, wearing number 44. Phillips, the catcher. Phillips lofts a high one to left field. Phillips, his brother Dennis under it. Barcomb tags, throw comes into second base. It's off the mark. Barcomb scores. Cardin safely in at second. So two down now. And one run in. This will bring up Andy Morelli. Barcomb was loaded with former MVPs. Morelli was the league's first MVP back around 1970 or so. Line shot to Mark Guerin, the shortstop. So I'll bring a halt to the first inning. Final score here after one half inning of play. Barcomb's 1, Bowl Mart coming to bat. Getting ready to start the second half of the first inning here. Defensively for Barcomb, Dan Phillips behind the plate. Gary DeCoste on the mound. Dale Cardan at third. Guy Juno at second. Pat Welch at first. And Randy Barcomb at shortstop. That's the infield. Up here is Dennis Phillips. Phillips hits one to Barcomb. Barcomb over to first. Safe. He pulled Welch off the base. Barcomb, as I said earlier, substituting for the injured Dick Van Heusen. Van Heusen pulled an Achilles tendon playing basketball earlier this year. He's still hobbling around on crutches. He'll be gone for at least this full season. Batter Randy Davison flies out to bring up Jim Davison. One down. Phillips on first. Jim Davison. He's been the league's MVP at least once, maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure on that. Pitch from the left side. DeCoste pitch. Hits the front of the plate for a strike. Puts this one deep. Gary Favreau back. A lot of room. He'll make the catch. Dennis Phillips tagging. Here's the throw in the second. And he's there. 2 down now. This will bring up Randy Bird LeBombard. LeBombard, the second baseman. Looks at a strike. Phillips dancing off second. Pitch is way outside. DeCoste mixing them up. There's a grounder. Could be tough play. Barcomb backhands it. Long throw to first. Phillips coming in. Phillips scores. Lombard dances, dives back in at first base. A lot of action there. LeBombard diving back in at first base. Joey Trombley right on top of the plate said he was safe. Dennis Phillips on a big hustling. Big hustle there by Dennis Phillips. He scored the run. Now goes an infield hit. This brings up Mark Guerin, the shortstop. Guerin lofts it into right field. Favreau making the call. He catches it in front of Dumas for the third out. After 1 full inning of play, the score is 1-1. Leading off the second inning is Gary Favreau. Favreau looks at a ball. Very seldom will he swing at the first pitch. He'll usually wait till he gets a strike, but he swings at this one. It's in the center field for an out. Favreau usually take a strike before he starts swinging. But a big game like this, he's probably anxious up there. He's bringing up Frank Dumas, the right fielder. Dumas hits it up to shortstop Guerin. Long throw to first. He's got him. Let's bring up Jim Barcomb. Barcomb, the left fielder. Pitch from Bayshard. Swung hit past third base. Now goes the base hit for Jim Barcomb. He's up now with the veteran Guy Juno. Juno wearing number 4. And that's his position on the field. Position number 4, he wraps a base hit the same place that Barcomb did. Keeping Phillips busy out there. Back-to-back singles here with 2 outs. This will bring up the first baseman, Pat Welch. Barcomb can score a lot of runs with 2 outs. Welch hits a number over the short second baseman's head. Here comes Barcomb coming in all the way to plate to the plate. He's safe. And on the throw, Welch goes into second, and Guy Juno goes all the way to third. So a little number over the head of Randy LeBombard. And Barcomb's now with a 2-1 lead. Roy Hebert the batter. Hebert hits the first pitch. Deep. Phillips going back. Makes a nice running grab for the 3rd out. So Barcomb's come up with a run here. And they've now got a 2-1 lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Leading off the bottom half of the 2nd inning. With his team down 2-1, Danny Trombley. Trombley is a left center fielder. Hits the pitch down the shortstop. Barcomb, long throw to first. They've got him. Nice play. Cardan almost had that one, but Barcomb picked it up and made the play. This brings up now Bill Glode, the first baseman. Nikos, kind of a sidearm delivery. Mixes his pitches up. Whoa, little number, shortstop, Guy Juno. Excuse me, second baseman, Guy Juno. This will bring up Stan Roberts. Roberts, a designated hitter. We saw his brother Larry in the first game. Batter is out here. He stepped in front of the plate. He hit it back to Nikos, but it was just academic because he stepped in front of the plate and he was automatically out. So that goes, I'm not sure how you score that. I think you should call that a put out on the catcher's part. And after 2 full innings, the score is 2-1, Barcomb's favor. Leading off in the 3rd inning here is Gary Nikos. Nikos flew out his first time up. There's a soft line drive to Randy LeBombard. Nice soft one that Bird just had to reach up and grab. I probably could have made that play. Randy Barcomb now, the shortstop. He singled and scored in the 1st inning. He looks at a strike. Very pleasant evening tonight. Strike 2. Too much arc, but he swung anyway and got a base hit out of it. If there's too much arc, the umpire will signify that by tapping the top of his head. However, the player can swing at the pitch if he wants to. Dale Cardan. Cardan singled his first time up. Too much arc. Another one that's too high, but Cardan hits that into center field. Jim Davison gets the ball back in a hurry. Nice shot, but it was right at the right center fielder, Jim Davison. This brings up Dan Phillips. Phillips capable of hitting it out of the ballpark here. Lofts it high. The left fielder, Dennis Phillips, coming in. He makes the play. So Dan Phillips has been up twice, and both times he's hit the ball to his brother Dennis. Now we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd inning with the score remaining 2-1, Barcomb's favor. Going now to the bottom of the third inning. The batter is going to be Dick Stata, the designated hitter. Stata playing right field. Barcomb over to Welch for the out. Stata is the right fielder. He's out 6-3. This brings up Lynn Bayshard, the pitcher. Looks at a strike. Lynn, highly regarded as a pitcher. Lines it back to Gary DeCoste. DeCoste, one of the better fielding pitchers in the league. This brings up Lonnie Bayshard, the catcher. Hits it over Barcomb's head for a base hit. Left center fielder Morelli came rushing in to pick that one up and get it back in there in a hurry. This will bring up Dennis Phillips. Phillips has been very busy out in that outfield. Handled a lot of chances out there. He hits from the left side. Looks at a strike. Well, there's kind of inside, but he swung on, hit down there, Frank Dumas. Dumas made a nice catch, ran into the wall. Made a nice catch in foul territory for the third out. Going out to the fourth inning with the score, Barcomb's 2, Bowl Mart 1. Andy Morelli leading off the fourth inning here. Looking at a strike. Morelli 0 for 1. Looks at a ball. Hits this one into left center field. Left center fielder Trombley, almost right in his tracks, made that catch. This brings up now Gary Favreau. Favreau made a liar out of me last time up. I said he'd take a strike, and he swung at the second pitch for... Swings at the first pitch this time. Hits another one to Trombley. So, 2 batters up and 2 batters out very quickly here. This game moving very quickly. Frank Dumas now. Dumas, the right fielder. Hits this one up the middle. Guerin, good range, comes over, makes the play. Mark Guerin, a fine addition to this Bowl Mart club. Played last year with the Sportabout team. So now in the middle of the fourth inning, score still remains here. Barcomb's TV 2, Bowl Mart 1. Randy Davison, the third baseman here. Swings at the first pitch, lines it. Almost hit the umpire Joey Trombley down there. Randy 0 for 1. Good ball game going here, 2-1. There's a shot. It's up the right side for a base hit. Dumas makes a nice grab over there, cutting that ball off. If that had gone in a gap, Davidson would have had 3 bases on that because he's fast. Dumas made a nice play there, cutting that ball off. This brings up Jim Davison. Jim Davison, the right center fielder. For those of you who don't realize it, there's 4 outfielders here in slow pitch softball. Years ago, a lot of teams would play a roving fielder, but now just about everybody goes with 4 outfielders deep. There's a strike. Very few teams you'll see playing a roving short outfielder. There's one deep. Dumas, Favreau, both back. It's gone. It's out of here. It's out of here. And there's no wind in that direction, folks. That was all Jim Davison. 2-run home run here. Puts his team up 3-2. Our cameraman during our last break Our cameraman Sherm Blow was asking if there'd be any hit out of here tonight, and he didn't have to wait too long. Jim Davison just belted that one over the fence. And now his team was down by one. They're now up by one. This will bring up Randy LeBombard. Nobody out here in the fourth inning. Score 3-2. Bowl Mart Lanes leading Barcomb's TV. Umpire behind the plate, Dick Butterball Letourneau. Hits one to Carda. Carda over to first. We have one down. This brings up Mark Guerin, the shortstop. Hits this one foul, out of play. Two count. There's a base hit up the middle. Wait. Favreau. Gary Favreau came out of nowhere on that one. Thought that was going to drop, but he got out there in a hurry. Made a nice backhanded grab. Nice play there by Gary Favreau. Thought that was a base hit for sure. 2 outs now. This will bring up Dan Trombley, the left center fielder. Trombley swings at the first pitch, hits it to Favreau. Favreau backing up a little bit, then grabs it. After 4 complete innings now, score, Bowl Mart Lanes 3, Barcomb's TV 2. You're looking at Jim Barcomb at the plate. He singled and scored Barcomb's second run. His first time up there, fouls that one there off. Well-played game here so far. You won't see either of these teams make too many mistakes. For years, these two teams have been rated as the top 2 clubs in the league. These are the teams that everybody wants to beat, and naturally they want to beat each other too. A lot of rivalry here. Pitch from Lynn is outside. Bayshard brothers have the battery here. There's a base hit. Dennis Phillips cuts it off, throws it in a hurry. Jim Barcomb has a second hit. With nobody out, Guy Juno, the second baseman. Hits it to second base over LeBombard's head. Took a bad hop there. We'll have to call that a bad hop single. Must have hit a stone or else it hit the edge of the grass. Took a sudden jump. LeBombard had very little chance of grabbing that one. This will bring up Pat Welch, the first baseman. He singled his last time up. Ball game. We're in the 5th inning here, top of the 5th inning. Barcomb's threatening here with nobody out. Welch lofts it down the right field line. Foul ball. Ball's dead. Nice running attempt there by Dickie Stata. We'll have to see how things turn out, but if he had caught that, he'd been in no position to throw it. Both of those runners would have advanced, and Jim Barcomb might even have scored from second base if he'd caught that ball in foul territory. Welch now swings, lofts this one into center field. Jim Davidson makes the catch, throw to third base. Gets by the third baseman, Randy Davidson. Very good throw from Jim Davidson there. If Randy had been able to hang on to that ball, I think Barcomb would have been out at third base. But now, Guy Juno alertly tags up and goes to second. And we have runners on second and third, and the veteran, Roy Hebert, at the plate. Hebert, a little number foul. He's disappointed. Disappointed in himself. Hebert, a very good clutch hitter, but he can't get a hit every time up there. Fouls that out to the third baseman. So now Barcomb's threat here may be going by the wayside as Gary DeCoste hits it down to right field. Base hit. This will score 2. Here's Guy Juno. Stata got the ball into LeBombard. LeBombard looked at Guy Juno coming in and decided to hold on to that ball because he knows Juno can fly, and there's no sense in letting DeCoste go to second on that. So 2-run RBI here for Gary DeCoste, helping his cause, and here's a base hit by Randy Barcomb. Very exciting game here. Score is now 4-3. Barcomb's leading Bowl Mart. We're in the 5th inning. This brings up now Dale Cardan. Cardan 1 for 2. Hits this one over the third baseman's head. Here comes DeCoste. He can move. He's going to score. Davidson holds the ball. And DeCoste comes in safely at home plate. Barcomb's a lot of good base runners. And now with 3 runners in so far, Danny Phillips. Danny Phillips, a cleanup hitter. We saw Davidson put one out. Phillips is capable of doing the same thing. Bayshard pitches him way inside. Pitching carefully here. Phillips hits it deep to left field. His brother Dennis is back. It's gone. No, it's off the wall. Excuse me, it's off the wall. Here comes Barcomb. Here comes Cardan. The plate to the plate. Phillips with a triple. A triple. Couldn't really tell the white against the white out there. We thought maybe that ball was out of here, but we heard it hit the wall. All the runners with 2 outs were running on the pitch. And Phillips is in there with a stand-up triple. Barcomb's with 5 runs. Here's Morelli. Here comes the 6th run across the inning. Davidson kicks it out in the outfield. Morelli standing up at second base. Morelli singles in Danny Phillips for the 6th run this inning. Score is now 8-3. Barcomb's exploding here in the 5th inning. Brings now Gary Favreau, the 10th batter, to bat this inning. Barcomb's had 2 men out and nobody in. Now they've scored 6 times. Favreau hits it down to third base. Randy Davidson having trouble. And Morelli slides into third. We'll have to count that as an error. It was a hard hit ball, but Davidson should have handled that. Error on the third baseman. This brings up the 11th hitter of the inning, Frank Dumas. Dumas 0 for 2. He's grounded to shortstop twice. Another one in the hole. This will score Morelli. Favreau holds it second. Base hit for Frank Dumas. This brings up Jim Barcomb, who led off the inning with a single. He singled twice and scored twice. Scores 9-3 here. Barcomb scoring 7 runs here with 2 outs. They had their first 2 runners get on base and the next 2 made outs. And it looked like the threat had fallen by the wayside. Then singles by DeCoste, Barcomb, Cardan, triple by Phillips. There's another shot. Base hit by Jim Barcomb. He's 3 for 3. Here's Gary Favreau. Favreau scores as the throw goes into second base. Nine hits for Barcomb and 1 error. There's a base hit for Guy Juno over Bomar's head. The throw comes into second base, gets by. The cutoff didn't cut it off, and it came into the home plate. And Dumas very lately stayed at third base. Guy Juno had his 3rd hit. He's 3 for 3. Bases are filled now. Pat Welch. Welch is 1 for 2. He made the first out of the inning. Ball's way inside. Bases are filled here. Welch hits it over third base. There's another run coming in. Barcomb's going wild here. Everybody's hitting. With Welch singling, coming to the plate now is Roy Hebert. Roy Hebert is the only man not to reach base for Barcomb's this inning. The bases are still loaded here. Hebert, of course, hit that little number off the top of his bat. It was caught in foul territory. He may walk in a run here. Looks like there's 3 balls on him. Strike hits in front of the plate. 3-1 count. Hits it to left field. Dennis Phillips back. It's out. It's going to be scoring 3 runs for sure. Hebert stands up at second. A double for Roy Hebert. 3-run score. Barcomb's going wild here. All this coming with 2 outs. Nobody had scored with 2 outs, and now I can't count here. I don't know how many. I think there's something like 12 runs in this inning. Gary DeCoste. Shot up the middle. Nice play by Mark Guerin to finally get out of this inning. Very good grab by Mark Guerin. We'll recap this inning for you right now. We won't cut away right now. We'll recap this inning. Leading off the inning was Jim Barcomb with a single. He was followed by Guy Juno with a single. Pat Welch then flew to right center field. Roy Hebert fouled out to the third baseman. So with 2 outs and nobody in, Gary DeCoste singled, then Randy Barcomb singled, then Dale Cardan singled, then Dan Phillips tripled, then Andy Morelli singled. Gary Favreau reached on an error. Frank Dumas singled. Jim Barcomb had his 2nd single of the inning. Guy Juno had his 2nd single of the inning. Pat Welch singled, and then Roy Hebert hit a 3-run triple. "12 runs in this inning. Score is now 14-3. Cheryl Miller is up here visiting us in the booth. And she's leaving us. Score 12 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Makes it now 14-3. Barcomb's with a commanding lead. But don't count the Bowl Mart out yet. Leading off here, Bill Glode for the Bowl Mart Lanes team. Glode singles. Oh, yes, off Barcomb's glove. Looked for a moment like Barcomb may catch that one. Barcomb, a good leaper. He's a good athlete out there. Almost grabbed that one. But Glode with a single brings up Stan Roberts, a DH. Roberts stepped on a plate. His first time up. The first and only time up. Swings, hits it to Cardan. Cardan will go to second. Over to first. He got him. Double play. And the Bowl Mart team is upset. Bowl Mart team is upset, but I think it was close, but I thought he was out from up here. It was a close play, but I thought he was out. Coming up now will be Dick Stata. Stata, the right fielder. Dick Castine out there to argue that. He was going to ask Trombley to appeal it with the home plate umpire. Trombley's going to ask Letourneau here. And Letourneau rules that he was safe. Trombley wasn't sure of that call, so he checked with Letourneau. Thought maybe Letourneau might have had a better view, and Letourneau said he's safe. DeCoste. DeCoste thought there were 2 outs. DeCoste there. You won't see him make very mental errors, and there's one of them. DeCoste looked like he might have had a chance for a double play there, but he thought there were 2 outs. He lost track here. Gary Boris coming in here to pinch run. Boris shows up for these 8 o'clock games on his lunchtime. He's working the evening shift, and he wants to get his games in, so any appearance he can make will count toward getting his games in for the playoffs. He has to have a minimum number of games for the playoffs. So Boris running here for Roberts. Lynn Bayshard at the plate. 2 outs. Pitch was a strike. Lynn Bayshard hits it in the short left field. Morelli came in and grabbed it. The score now, after 5 full innings of play, Barcomb's TV and Furniture 14, Bowl Mart Lanes 3. Randy Barcomb here set to lead off the 6th inning. He looks at a strike. Too much arc in that one. Barcomb 3 for 3. He scored twice. Hits this one into almost straight away center field. Jim Davidson under it for the out. This will bring up Dale Cardan. Cardan 2 for 3. Cardan hits it to right field. It's in the gap. Overstayed his head out there. Cardan motoring into third base here. He has a triple. He's 3 for 4. Barcomb's brought their hitting bats tonight. This will bring up Dan Phillips. Phillips hit it off the wall his last time up there for a big triple. And you know, anytime Dan Phillips hits a triple, it's going to be hit a long ways. Because he runs kind of like I do. That's one hit off Lynn Bayshard's glove. That'll score Cardan. I guess we'll call that a hit. It was too hot for the pitcher to handle, and he deflected it and threw Lombard off. Call that an infield hit. Andy Morelli now. Morelli 1 for 3. He singled his last time up in that big 5th inning. Two fine clubs here. Hits it to left field. Dennis Phillips giving chase. Ball is out of play. We'll have a new ball here. That ball there must be getting kind of soft right now anyway, all the hitting that Barcomb has been doing. Really tried to go to right field, hits it into center field. Jim Davison coming in. Makes the grab. 2 outs now. This will bring up Gary Favreau. Favreau 0 for 3, reached on an error last time up. There's a shot down the right field line. Curving foul. Looked like it had a chance to stay fair when it left the bat, but kind of drifted foul. Favreau was a good baseball player back in his high school days. Here's a little number down to Len Bayshard. He picks it up, throws to first. Then Barcomb will settle for 1 run this inning. Makes the score now 15-3 as we move now to the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a defensive replacement over at first base for Barcomb, replacing Pat Welch. Is the veteran from Troy, Vermont, Norm Bono. Bono, a left-hander. For a number of years, he played shortstop in this league. Lonnie Bayshard at the plate. Very seldom you'll see a shortstop playing, a shortstop who's left-handed because of throwing. There's Barcomb giving you a demonstration of why the shortstop should be right-handed. It's a natural throw over to first base where the left-hander has to turn and throw. But as Bono said, he said a good left-handed shortstop is better than a bad right-handed shortstop. And I guess playing shortstop was something he always wanted to do. And he did it. He did a fine job of it. He was an all-star at that position a number of times. The batter now is Dennis Phillips. Dennis reached on an error and flew out to right field his last time up. There's a hit up the middle. Whoa! Gary Decoss slowed that down just enough so Barcomb could come over and make an excellent play. And they just barely nipped Dennis Phillips. And of course, Phillips being a left-handed hitter, you got down that line in a hurry. So if you're scoring that, it's 1-6-3. Nothing seems to be going right here for Bowl Mart. Batter now, Randy Davison. Davison 1 for 2. He scored in front of his brothers last time up when Jimmy hit that big home run. There's a gapper. Cut off very nicely there by Gary Favreau. Davison heads up running. I don't know. I might have held up there with the team down by 12 runs. But Bowl Mart, not known for being timid. They're a very aggressive team. This will bring up Jim Davison. He homered his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Hits this one deep and foul down the right field line. When Jim Davison hit that home run, it put his team up 3-2. But then the next half inning, Barcomb came up with 12 big runs to take that commanding lead. Score is now 15-3. Decoss isn't going to give Davison too much to swing at here, even though he's way up in He knows darn well that Bowl Mart could come up with a dozen runs if they had to too here. Pitching very carefully, even though he's got a 12-run lead. He's pitching very carefully to Jim Davison. Davison hits it deep, very deep, at the fence. Dumas, may have hurt himself. Dumas, I think he made that catch, but he may have hurt his shoulder doing it. Dumas, a very, very aggressive, hard-nosed ball player. He gives you everything he's got out there. Looks like he'll be all right here as he's walking off the field. Made an outstanding grab there. Rob Davison of a home run. Now, happens often. The player who makes the great catch ends up coming to the plate. Dumas fouls it off. Looks like he none the worse for the wear here. He seems like he's all right. He's 1 for 3 in the evening. Single in that big 5th inning. And just saved 2 runs there with a great catch. Pitch from Lynn, hitting to short left field. Phillips coming over, makes the grab. 1 down. This will bring up Jim Barcomb. Barcomb 3 for 3, scored all 3 times. Oh, we have a pinch hitter. Tim Van Heusen going to pinch hit for Jim Barcomb. Sure Van Heusen gets enough games in for the playoffs too, I guess. Puts this one into right center field. Jim Davison back, makes the one-handed grab. We have 2 outs now. This will bring up Guy Juneau. Juneau, the second baseman, he's 3 for 3. Juneau fouls it off. Nice attempt there by Lonnie Bayshard, but just beyond the reach. Juneau swings this one up the middle. Lombard bounces around once, throws to first, and they've got him. Juneau hustling down that line. We'll go now to the bottom of the 7th inning. The final inning here with Barcomb's TV leading Bowl Mart Lanes 15-3. Okay, final chance here for Bowl Mart. Randy Lombard swings at the first pitch right up the middle. Not going to count this Bowl Mart team out yet. Don't count these guys out yet. Bird is 2 for 3 on the night. This brings up Mark Guerin. Guerin 0 for 2. Bowl Mart very capable of scoring some runs here. Guerin hits it deep and fair ball. Looks like it's going to be foul, but it's a fair ball. The Lombard's going to score. Guerin coming into third base. Safe. He's safe. Another example of where I would have held the runner up there. When you're down by that many runs, you don't want to take too many chances. But Bowl Mart, a very aggressive team. Score now 15-4. Nobody out. Dan Trombley. Seventh inning. Bottom of the seventh inning. Gets that one deep. Barcomb makes the catch. Guerin will score easily here. This will bring up Bill Glode, the first baseman. Glode, 1 for 2. Score is 15-5. Strike call. Puts it into left field. Barcomb. Makes the play. This will bring up now Stan Roberts with 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Roberts was pinched run for in the 5th inning. But of course, in this league, you can replace the starter, and the starter can go back in for the player who replaced him. Hits it high. The short center field. Gary Favreau squeezes it for the final out. So our final score here. Barcomb's TV and Furniture, 15. Bowl Mart Lanes, 5. These teams will meet again later in the year, and you can bet that Bowl Mart will be gunning for them. I want to thank Sherm Blow for handling the camera for this game for us. I'll remind you that our hour was sponsored by the town of Champlain, the village of Champlain, and the village of Rouse's Point. It was coordinated by Woodmen of the World Lodge 462. And we'll be back again next week. We've been on the air for a year, and we hope to be on for a few more years. See you next Saturday at 6.